is every night I write down, before I go to bed, my list of things I'm going to do the next day. Because I'm extremely organizational type of person, and with an eye towards prioritization, which is going to give me the dollar producing, income producing results that I'm looking for, and the fluffy stuff goes to the bottom. And I also am an extreme team builder. Probably one of my biggest competencies is building teams of people, and that I once took for granted that capability. I no longer take that for granted. I just thought everyone had that capability. I don't think that's true. And I think that was probably a result of just managing a home. And during that time, I was helping my husband with his business, I was homeschooling my 3 kids, and I had to be extremely organized. And I also, something there's a little bit of a misnomer about the notion of multitasking. I think that's somewhat biologically driven. I think for male brains it doesn't work as well, and I think this merits discussion. Since the book by John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, he effectively dismissed the whole notion that there's no difference between men and women, which kind of springboarded out of the 60s.
Your husband?
Beg your pardon?
Who did that, your husband?
No, John Gray is a well-known author and speaker.
Right, I know.
Oh, no, I think my husband is aware of the biological differences. And so you just work in sync with that. But so for a man, I think it is more difficult to multitask. And it's not like I'm not talking good, bad, right, or wrong. It's just simply knowing the facts of the matter and then working with those strengths. Now, I do work with some men who are extremely good at multitasking, but on the whole, women tend to multitask more. And so when I was raising my kids, and I think most contemporary women can attest to this, you can do a lot of activities at once, can't you?
Right.
Like, I would see my husband, if he's on the phone, that's all he can do is be on the phone. I thought, that's insane. How is it that that's all you can do, but it's literally all you can do? And for me, it's you are cooking the food, and you may be off here, and you fold some clothes, or I've even balanced a checkbook while being on the phone, but that's all he can do. So, again, not good, bad, right, or wrong. I think that's just the way men are more focused. But the multitasking has, because roles have changed, have allowed women to grow in a much larger business capacity. 70% of businesses that were formed in the last decade were formed by women. It's the new growth. I'm going to speak to that more during my hour about that. Not that people have to be compelled to be work in that, but I'll tell you, you won't make as much money. Nobody will make as much money unless you become in tune to some really big shifts that are coming. So I'll talk about that later. But business organization, is there anyone have any particular struggles or challenges?
5 minutes.
I'll just go ahead, Mike. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just general focusing. You can't multitask.
I'm sorry, what's that?
General focusing when you can't multitask. It's setting the priority of, all right. I mean, everybody I'm sure gets involved with, there's too much information out there.
Yes.
Why do you need all that when you still need the first step? Let's just, learn to forget about that until you get step 1 done. And when that's done, you can get step 2.
This is a huge problem in our industry right now. It's a young, evolving industry, and there's information all over the place, and it has yet to be determined exactly what that sequence ought to look like. And the problem is because there is not one singular formula for what it should look like for everybody, because everyone comes in a different place, and there's numerous skill sets involved with running an effective business. Marketing being one big one, but there's a lot more. I hold team building way at the top. But that is a big problem I'm extremely aware of. The learning, what you have to go through. And I deal with it too. It's constant overwhelm. And then you have to learn how to prioritize. But that's not going to go away. The fact that there's so much to learn and when to prioritize it's daunting. Would everyone agree that that's a significant challenge? But on the flip side of it, if you can look at it this way, I always look for the hidden silver lining. It's latent with opportunity and potential. You could be the person who helps organize that, or you find your niche within all these many skills that are having to be developed out. So I look at it as, where's the good news in this? Like Mark said about the Google slap, there's a silver lining. I mean, I felt that one real dramatically. And yet I feel very strongly I feel like I have a very good handle on where the shift is going and where to put my focus. So you got to just look at the bright side.